Hello, my beautiful cuddlebugs. Welcome to Ramblings of a Book Dragon, where we dive into the warmth of good books and unravel stories that feel like a literary hug. I'm Allie, your host, and I'm thrilled to embark on another cozy adventure with you. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, snuggle into your cozy reading nook, and let's begin. But before we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so that you won't miss a single podcast episode. I really value your feedback and book recommendations. Now let's begin with today's episode. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about The Singles Table by Sara Desai and performed by Sunila Lanankani. Tropes include grumpy versus sunshine, protective versus clumsy, as well as a variety of others. The main characters are Zara and Jay. Zara is a lawyer who is bubbly, clumsy, and lights up every room she's in. On the other hand, Jay is grumpy, a bit of a stick in the mud who views excitement and fun as winning paintball matches and going outside, watching documentaries, and becoming more successful with his security firm. He also used to be in the Air Force before some things happened that are revealed later on in the book, but for right now, he is being very successful at his security firm, and he believes that his ideal woman is a woman who is successful and poised, wealthy, someone that will basically help be his life partner. And he's very bound and determined to do this. And when he's at this paintball tournament for one of his friends is getting married, he really just accidentally runs into Zara, who basically enters his life like a hurricane. And so he makes sure to let her know that basically he does not like her. She is the exact opposite of the woman that he views himself with. He's giving kind of Scroogey vibes because he's putting off marriage, pushing the goalposts farther and farther back until the love of his life leaves him. Except in this case, he's keeping those relationships strictly to the more carnal elements. The woman is never allowed to sleep over for the night. There's just a lot of stuff going on there. And Zara, she has her own things that are going on with this as well, but she views relationships as kind of something that's not in the cards for her. And so both of them meet at the singles table as well. But they're both in the same wedding. And yeah, like I said, Zara rolls into his life like a hurricane and isn't afraid to call him out and shoot. Basically, she shoots him in the ass with a paintball gun because he's being extremely serious. And she and the other bridesmaids roll up to this paintball tournament in old bridesmaids dresses that were bought from like a thrift store. And he's like, "What the heck are you guys doing? You're not helping at all." And she wins, and she gloats about it a lot. She's basically forces him to have fun because when they meet at the wedding later on, after they both kind of say some things to each other, she's like, "I am a matchmaker. I like to get people together. I like to match them up. Let me find you someone to help get some of the other ladies off of his back regarding like aunties and stuff." And he's like, "Okay, I can do that. Like, why not? Like, I have nothing else to do with my life basically right now, and it's easy, and it may be easier if she helps him do that." And so she does this by saying, "I'm going to meet you at your office. I'm going to interview you. I'm going to talk to other people that you know." And she basically just is like, "We are going outside. I'm going to get to know you. I need to find out other things about you that, like, I need to find some fun. I need to," like, she forces him to go outside. Overall, I thought this was a really cute story, nice and light, with just enough spice sprinkled through it to be fun without being overly heavy on it. My only complaint with this book is that at first, Jay is like, "This is the exact opposite woman for me." And when they do agree to kind of become this partnership of she's going to help him get out of the singles table, help him find someone, and he starts to realize, "Oh, I actually like her." But it just seems like it goes from this 0 to 180 because they have a conversation where it's like both of them agree, no strings attached, nothing special, nothing crazy, and they're just going to have good, clean sex. that's fine. But then he falls hard for her and he's trying to get her to basically date him. And she's freaking out. And then they both get upset with each other. Like, they do have conversations, but it just seems like some of these conversations maybe aren't as productive as one would like in this situation. But I do appreciate the fact that they do actually talk to each other. And instead of her just running away, she's like, I can't do this. I can't have a relationship with someone due to some other things that were going on. And he's like, I mean, he does have his moments of being a jerk, but it still just seems like they're both starting to fall in love with each other, but it's that kind of insta love situation that happens. But I also get it. Like, this is kind of a shorter book, so the timeline does need to speed up a bit for this. I just wish that there was a little bit more. I kind of wish we had a little bit more time in Jay's head to kind of see that process, because we're just seeing it from her perspective, where he's like, I only have sex with women, I don't spend the night with them, blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden she's the love of his life. He wants to spend time with her. He's realizing that she's the type of woman that he wants to be around, and then but the main thing is the fact that they do find that they actually like each other. They help each other. Like, he grounds her because she is a hurricane. She loves to meet famous people, and that's basically what is going on here. That's how this all starts, is she wants to meet famous people, and he runs this very successful security firm who helps rich people. So she's like, okay, well, if I help you find someone, then introduce me to some rich people. And so it just, there's also running throughout the book is a bit of a mystery of one of the aunties, her sons, that she has a security camera in the house, and someone managed to break into the security camera and say some very rude things to the boys and really scares them. So, and she's a lawyer, and what I found really interesting with this is that, like, she's at a law firm that she was at some pretty big law firms, and then she was like, I can't do this. This doesn't fit me. And she was able to get into this other law firm that seemed very, very relaxed. So she's like, okay, well, I need this law firm may potentially be going under because they need money, and her aunts come to her and say, like, this is what's going on, and she explains to them that the law firm may be going under, but like, she's going to try to help them and everything. And all the pieces fit together perfectly because you can see it coming, what happens, the nice little twist that occurs. But it was a fun twist. The other thing is, like, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, and there's a thing near the end that I was like, isn't that kind of going against, wouldn't she have to recuse herself as a lawyer? Because this guy who had hired Jay's firm, he's like, oh, these pictures came out of me, and this was supposed to be very security. No one was supposed to have phones. Someone took a picture. I want to sue Jay. And this is when they were getting into a relationship, and she's like, well, I've been with Jay. I don't know. She's like, I can't exactly say what he is. That was kind of a bit of an annoying thing, because like, she likes him, she wants to be with him, but she's very scared of being around him because she thinks that she's going to mess everything up with him because of things that were going on with her family and some previous relationships that were going on, but mainly her parents. So she thinks that, like, being in a relationship isn't in the cards, and she doesn't want to admit to wanting to be in a relationship with Jay just yet. But she's like, I basically slept with him, and our bosses are like, well, that's fine. So I would have thought that because she knew and had a previous relationship with Jay, that she wouldn't be able to help the man that wants to sue him. But she agrees to this because, I mean, I see what was going on with this. Basically, she agrees to help so that she can help Jay, and she's like, I can't. So there was a bit of a twist on the miscommunication, lack of communication trope, where she's like, I can't tell him what's going on with this because of lawyer-patient confidentiality, and she doesn't want to say anything necessarily right now because he is basically the enemy numero uno. but Jay realizes what's going on. Jay thinks that this may be some sort of revenge thing at first, but luckily this slight bit of miscommunication didn't go on for too very long, and it was resolved pretty quickly. I'm not sure if there was a way that could have been resolved more easily, but it just seemed like there was a bit of a squishing in situation, shoehorning in of stuff to make it work. But everything works out in the end, as per usual. This is a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, I thought that it was a really fun, light book. It was very easy to read, and like the spice wasn't too crazy, and so overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I would recommend it as a fun book. And of course, as always, I've really enjoyed Sunila Nankani's performance, and so I think this is good, and I am going to be looking into some of the other books as well by Sara Desai. I read one of her other books before, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. There were, like I was saying before, there were a couple of things that kind of annoyed me a little bit, mainly the insta love situation, but it wasn't as bad as some of the other reviews that I've done. So I thought it was nice and fun, and I will catch you all next time. A big thank you to all you beautiful cuddlebugs for joining me on this literary escapade. Until next time, keep snuggling with those books and spreading the cozy vibes. Happy reading, my lovely cuddlebugs, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye!